There's a statement that said that a closed mouth is a closed destiny. So you must voice out. When you voice out and the global community knows that this thing is affecting the generality, definitely there's going to be a change.
Corruption, as it were, has become an endemic problem in this country. So it is therefore everybody's problem, and every hand must be on deck to ensure the fight succeeds.
Hello and welcome to Transparency Files, the weekly television program of the ICPC. I am your host, Murna Barnabas Atiai. Corruption thrives in silence, but when citizens raise their voices and actively participate, real change becomes possible. In today's edition, we spotlight the power of public voice and civic participation in strengthening transparency and accountability across Nigeria. Fighting corruption isn't solely the responsibility of governments. It's a shared duty. Every report made, every petition filed, every protest held, and every demand for transparency adds momentum to the fight for integrity. On the program today, we will examine how active citizen engagement can transform the anti-corruption landscape. We'll also bring you updates from our state offices, a special feature on the opportunity cost of corruption, and much more. But first, let's join Joy Aja for this week's top anti-corruption highlights. It's over to you, Joy.
Hello viewers, thank you for staying with us. My name is Joy Aja with Anti-Corruption Stories. ICPC is set to appropriate and leverage innovative technology and artificial intelligence in tackling the issues of corruption in Nigeria. This was disclosed recently by the ICPC chairman, Dr. Musa Adamu Aliyu, SAN, during the signing of a Memorandum of Understanding between the Commission and the National Agency for Science and Engineering Infrastructure, NASENI, at the Muhammadu Buhari Technology and Innovation Complex in Abuja. According to the ICPC boss, the MOU was put together to create a strong synergy between the two critical agencies in the fight against corruption in Nigeria, adding that the collaboration will avail the Commission the necessary technological expertise in its anti-corruption efforts.
This will help us in tackling the challenge of corruption in this country. Last week I was in Lagos, and I think this week I was in Lagos. One of the issues which we keep on raising is about the issue of AI. And because this is something that is new, and also we need to key in. But we cannot key in without people like you, because you have the expertise, and also, although up to now, this is an area where it's not regulated in Nigeria, especially for most of us anti-corruption agencies and also legal profession. So I hope this will open way for us to see how we can partner in order to see how we can tackle the challenge of corruption that is facing Nigeria. So ABC, I really appreciate you, and thank you so much with your team and also my team for working hard so that we reach this stage where we are going to sign this MOU.
Earlier in his remarks, the Executive Vice Chairman and Chief Executive Officer of NASENI, Mr. Khalil Sulaiman Halilu, hailed the Commission and its leadership for the partnership and expressed confidence that it would mutually benefit both agencies.
ICPC has been one of the most proactive partners that we engage. Frankly speaking, there are sometimes we reach out to agencies and we want to collaborate, and we have to keep chasing them, even though they are the ones that will benefit more at the end of the day. But I know Chairman has been on my neck. I think his name will soon graduate to favorite list. You know, there is a way your phone automatically, without you selecting, because of frequent contacts. So I'd like to appreciate both teams, for their work. I know there's been a lot of back and forth, the tertiary legal, and of course the ICPC team.
That'll be all on this segment. Transparency Files continues with Murna. Please stay with us.
Hello? Alaja, you brought clothes while I was away? Really? And you've collected them? Okay, Alaja, no problem. I'll get back to you, eh? Bye-bye. Madams, who amongst you collected clothes from Alaja?
Which Alaja, ma?
You're asking me which Alaja?
Aziz, anybody bring clothes?
Madam, don't mind them. Na so they do. They don't turn your shop to their own shop. They cut corner where you know they.
You cut corners?
No, madam, I beg.
Corruption is not just about government. This is how it starts. Because this is a petty business. You think you can ruin my shop? For those of you who cut corners behind your bosses, it is called absolute corruption. And corruption, not in my country.
Stop corruption now. Corruption not in my country.
If you're just tuning in, welcome back to Transparency Files. All across Nigeria, citizens are taking bold steps to demand accountability, from community monitors tracking constituency projects to whistleblowers exposing corruption in public institutions. These acts send a powerful message. Nigerians are refusing to be silent spectators. However, speaking up can be risky without protection. That's why safeguarding whistleblowers and preserving civic space is essential for any meaningful anti-corruption effort. We spoke with a civic society leader about how citizen participation helps strengthen institutions and build pressure for reform. Let's take a listen.
Many people believe that it is the duty of government to fight corruption and the rest. So how can people move from being mere observers to participating and making sure that they give their all to support government, and of course to make sure that they give all it takes to eradicate corruption?
Government alone most definitely cannot fight corruption all on its own, because corruption, as it were, has become an endemic problem in this country. So it is therefore everybody's problem, and every hand must be on deck to ensure the fight succeeds. And there are quite a number of things that non-governmental institutions or non-state actors or civil society can do, other than being passive. Which is not acceptable. I think civil society must also be actively involved. Through policies, by being carried along, by also acting as whistle, blowers, and holding institutions of government that are responsible for all kinds of services, whether it's anti-corruption or provision of health service, educational services, or any kind of service for that matter. Hold them accountable for the things they're not doing correctly, things they're not doing right. And until there's that level of active civil participation, then we may just be crawling in this fight against corruption. In other words, the point I'm making in essence is that corruption is everybody's problem, and not government alone should be left with the responsibility of tackling this problem.
How can everyday citizens move from being passive observers to active participants in demanding accountability from public institutions?
By aligning themselves together, creating alliances, by protest, by speaking up, leveraging the opportunities in the social media. If you see something wrong, say something about what you've seen wrong, and create awareness amongst other members of the public. That way, there will be more citizen participation.
By voice and participation, the Commission is urging all Nigerians, including visitors in Nigeria, not to exclude themselves from the governance process. Your ideas matter. You could shape wrong practices and processes when you voice out.
Thank you for staying with us. Participation may not always make the headlines, but it changes lives. Whether it's a market woman refusing to pay a bribe, a journalist exposing shady deals, or a student organizing an ethics debate, every act of engagement matters. To illustrate this further, we spoke with members of the National Anti-Corruption Coalition, NACC, a nationwide network of civil society organizations dedicated to holding public officials accountable and promoting grassroots transparency. Their stories reveal how collective citizen action can disrupt impunity and drive meaningful reform. Let's take a listen.
Talking about local government, I think it's the elephant in the room, and ICPC has decided, to go all the way, to identify why, local government, corruption rating in Nigeria, and is taking steps to be able to tackle it through education. And by the event that happened today, with the civil society organization and the media, I think they are now properly positioned to go a step, higher by, going to the grassroots to be able, to tackle corruptions at the local government level, knowing that it's the closest government that is close to the people. And if things are getting right, at the grassroots level, at the local government level, at the national level, we will be fine.
There's a statement that said that a closed mouth is a closed destiny. So you must voice out. When you voice out and the global community knows that this thing is affecting the generality, definitely there's going to be a change.
I'm glad that this administration, has given local government autonomy. So what exactly do we need? The last speaker spoke on practicality. That's just it. If we are able to train the local government staff, to be bold, to talk about corrupt practices, right from schools. My colleague said something about what a child said in the school. Saying corruption, teachers are teaching that corruption is already planted in Nigeria. We don't need that. So we need to train this staff and work on that curriculum that was enacted, some few years, 2 years back or so. We need that curriculum back. We need to work with it in schools, so that corruption, accountability, transparency is crucial. That's what we need now in schools, and hopefully we'll get there.
Welcome back. It's time for our Opportunity Cost of Corruption segment. When money for healthcare, roads, or schools is stolen, the consequences aren't just financial, they are human. Every diverted naira means fewer vaccines, broken classrooms, unsafe roads, and lost opportunities. This segment highlights the tangible and devastating impact of corruption on communities across Nigeria.
Corruption is a debilitating demon that has permeated almost every fiber of our society. Corruption also stifles freedom and would affect even security governance in a ramification of ways. If, for example, budgetary provision is made for the procurement of arms, and or armaments for the purposes of executing the war against insecurity. And such resources are not put completely as they should into this, it will mean that there will be a deficit, there will be a lacuna, there will be a problem with not only insufficient funds, which can also affect, the inability or ability to effectively fight, insecurity or wage a war successfully, effectively against insecurity. If those human resources or human factor that's required to execute the war against insecurity are not well remunerated, it could lead to discouragement and inability or their inability to put in their very best. And it's in such instances that there is a correlation between corrupt practices and insecurity. Strengthen the institutions of government that are prosecuting the war against corruption by making them more independent, much more independent, where the other arms of government, like from whether it be even within the executive arm of which these institutions are part of, or the legislative arm or the judicial arm, do not have any undue influence such that they can impede or interrupt or interfere in the activities of such institutions.
If there's one lesson from today's program, is this: corruption has fewer places to hide when citizens participate. Voice matters, participation matters, and the more we speak out, the stronger our democracy becomes. You're still watching Transparency Files. Before we wrap up, let's take a tour of activities from ICPC's state offices nationwide, where citizens are being empowered to engage and demand transparency in their communities.
Coming from Lagos State, the ICPC has inaugurated Anti-Corruption and Transparency Unit Act 2 of Yaba College of Technology, Yaba Tech, to strengthen institutional integrity and promote ethical governance. The resident Anti-Corruption Commissioner, Mr. Alexander Chukura, presented the Act 2 operational manual to the college's rector, outlining the framework for the unit's duties and responsibilities. In Katsina State, ICPC has formalized a partnership with the Katsina State Safety and Roads Traffic Authority, Kasarota, during a courtesy visit by the resident Anti-Corruption Commissioner for Katsina and Zamfara States, Mr. Lodam Samuel, to the Director General of Kasarota. The Director General reaffirmed the authority's commitment to the existing relationship with ICPC and pledged full cooperation to minimize corruption to the barest minimum in Katsina State and across Nigeria. Also, the ICPC Sokoto State Office paid a courtesy visit to the Department of State Services DSS Sokoto Command as part of efforts to deepen collaboration in the fight against corruption. The resident Anti-Corruption Commissioner, Mr. Shintema Binga, who led the delegation, highlighted the long-standing relationship between both agencies and acknowledged the vital support DSS has provided over the years in helping the Commission execute its mandate. Similarly, ICPC Ondo State paid a courtesy visit to the leadership of the Ondo State Public Complaints, Financial Crimes and Anti-Corruption Commission to deepen institutional cooperation between federal and state anti-graft bodies. The resident anti-corruption commissioner, Mr. Tiku Andrew Menge, stated that the ICPC remains committed to fostering partnerships to dismantle systemic corruption.
Nigeria, a nation blessed with both human and natural resources, a nation destined for greatness.
Together, we can still achieve greater things with a sense of humanity.
By treating every Nigerian with respect, fairness, and equity.
Expressing views and opinions on matters of mutual interest shall be our collective obligation.
Let us have a sense of nationhood, loyalty, solidarity, and pride in Nigeria.
By protecting its image and symbols.
Let us take personal responsibility
to help to provide solutions to challenges within our communities.
Speak up against violations of our societal values.
Act with honor, trust, faithfulness, and the fear of God.
Do what is right, even when no one is watching.
Maintain uprightness of character in all our endeavor.
Our diversity should be our strength.
Because unity strengthens,
while strife and division weaken.
At all times, let us follow due process
and keep to standards and regulation.
Act according to the ethics of our profession.
Together,
let us embrace the National Ethics and Integrity Policy
so that it becomes the springboard from which
we shall gain our nation's lost glory. And that brings us to the end of today's edition of Transparency Files. Remember, the fight against corruption starts with speaking out and standing up. Whether it's filing petitions, joining community protests, or participating in budget monitoring, your voice counts. Join us again next week, Friday at 6:30 p.m. on NTA Network and NTA International. Until then, stay informed, stay engaged, and stay committed to transparency. My name is Murna Barnabas Atiai. Bye for now.